Mud Fossil University, Roger, once again, trying to make you healthy. I want to see you get healthy. I want to see you be happy and smile and jump around and just enjoy your life. And how would you do that? You would get correct bodily nutrition and correct functions in your body and correct structure in your body, and your mind would work correctly because the neurotransitions in your body would work better because the metals would be at a particular level and quantity and types based on the way you eat, digest, and protect your bacteria. All right, this is what I did right here just recently, this one here. I'm not going to play it right now, but you can go here and say, is this why you are sick? All right, and it is why you're sick. Because it's the transition metals that are in the foods you eat are weak. And people are not getting the correct transition metals because the bacteria that reside in your gut that God put in there when you were born, it's called bido something. It's a bacteria, and there's a whole batch of them. There's like 1,000 different little bacteria in there. And if you don't have these, you are not going to digest food. And they did find out that the mother's milk has something to do with this process as well. So this is not, oh, we'll give them formula and everything's fine. Well, nature did something here that you people can never, ever, 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 ever recreate. So don't come tell me that, oh, nature is just something you can plug this and plug that in. No, you guys are making a mess of things with these antibiotics and stuff like that. That is a fact. Now, if you can give them antibiotics, it kills everything in the body, and you put all the back the right stuff right away, well, maybe that's a different issue. But that is not the way I see it happening. And not only that, you don't even know what the right stuff is. This is what I've been asking about. Why don't you have a database? Why don't you know what is supposed to be in a healthy person? They don't know. They have no clue. What's supposed to be in the blood of a healthy person? Well, there's supposed to be so much iron. And there's a couple other things rattling around in there that's supposed to be there, I guess, too. Well, that's about it. You know, you're supposed to have a little potassium here, some sodium there, not too much of this, not too much of that. Well, there's almost 100 transition metals. And those are the things that do the job of picking up and delivering. Transition means that one electron can jump from one orbit to the next, and that is how it carries things in your body. I don't think they understand that. The things that are moved in your body have to be moved somehow. They don't just bump into something accidentally. There is metals in your body. They're transition metals. They jump one little tiny orbital. They have a special architecture to them that allows them to attach with just the tiniest little grab and say, bring this down to the feet, and when you see it change the pH just a little bit, which means there'll be an electron difference now, and it will give up that thing, and they'll say, okay, take the oxygen, you guys need it more than I do, and there it goes, and then it goes back and gets some more oxygen. But as it's going back, it's going to take some carbon dioxide with it. It's absolutely phenomenal the way the body works. But there's 100 of these metals. You have iridium in you, gold, and all this. And I'm going to show you something that'll change the way you think about poop. All right, I've been saying this right along. Bacteria creates enzymes. The enzymes are literally chemistry sets. They go out and they do whatever the prescription is for that chemistry. And it might just say, go out and harvest up gold, or go out and harvest up mercury, or go out and harvest up lead, or go out and harvest up copper. It may have some other molecular harvesting where it may say, go out and get all these heavy metals at one time. I don't know. But I do know that the bacteria are what they use to collect and harvest these heavy metals. That's what they're using. And there's the same thing we have in our gut. The same stuff. I mean, they may not exactly be the same species, but bacteria is literally, that's what they do. They go out and create enzymes to break down products so that life can use them. Because you can't just take a rock and eat it and it's going to make you good. No, somebody's in there going to say, hey, whoa, 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 what is this? We got, oh, that's ALCO, and all these different chemicals all attached together. They're pretty solid. And the stomach says, well, I can't eat that. I can't absorb that through my intestines. And the intestine says, oh, don't worry, send it down here, we'll take care of it. So it sends it down to the intestines, the bacteria, they send out a couple of bacteria and say, okay, you go out there, you take care of the aluminum and take the botulitis with him, and he's going to get some copper, and I heard there was some mercury coming in, you better get ex post facto over there to take care of that, and you take all your bacteria guys with you. They go down, they harvest it all up, and then it goes in and it poops it out. That is where it is. Here it is. This is even gold. You don't need all the gold you have in you, maybe. Who knows? You're pooping all this stuff out. They say there's almost 4 pounds of gold in a ton of burnt off poop. That's what they said. This is the source of everything that's on the earth, is creatures. Look, in addition to gold and silver, human waste also contains amounts of rare earth metals, as palladium, vanadium. We're also interested in collecting metals that could be, including some of the more technologically important metals, vanadium, copper, that are in cell phones, computers, and alloys. We are the source of these things. The gigantic creatures that were in the earth when they died, all of these metals settled out according to their specific gravities, and gold puddled up at a very deep spot and settled out in the blood, and all these other metals did the same thing. And a lot of them were in specific areas in the body, which I understand now because I have examined thousands of mud fossils on a pretty deep detail, a lot of chemistry and a lot of once you understand the anatomy, the rocks don't have to all be the same material. They're not all silicon dioxide. That's it. They're all SiO2. Case closed. No, they're not. They're silicon dioxide. They have different kerogens and keratins built into them, which are fibers and fibrils that give it structure. They have different minerals and metals in there that give it conductivity and other types of integrity that you need, especially in the skin. And then there's different investments and different types of attachments. It's very, very, it's interesting as hell, I'll be honest with you. And once you understand it, you can see the next one and you say, oh, I understand that. But this time, it took on more copper. So we have a different color and we have a different chemistry. And another one might have been in geothermal, and another one might have been in mud, and another one might have been in blood. I mean, opals are from blood. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, I understand this now, and the earth is nothing but 100% creatures. Case closed. And all this stuff is coming out of us because we have this extra stuff. I imagine it's extra shooting it out of us that, we're eating it and we don't need it, or the bacteria is making it. It did its job and it's all expended and it's, being pooped out. I don't know exactly that, but this is why we need a database. We need to know what is in there. What's in there? So all these things are in there. They want to mine it now. That's the only reason they're interested. It's just something for money. It's unbelievable. So if you didn't have, here's the key. If you don't have a database, you are blind. It's like trying to find from Boston heading to Los Angeles with no map and a pair of blinders on. You're just accidentally going to bump into it, possibly in about 10 billion years. Now, what we need to know is what metals are in healthy people. I don't have skin issues. Okay, good. What's your problem? What kind of metals do you have in you? My hair doesn't fall out. Well, good. Why doesn't your hair fall out? What kind of metals do you have in there? Find out what leads to health. Find out the quantities. Find out the types of minerals and metals that are in your blood, because that's what's pushing everything around your body. And if they're not there to push the stuff around your body, you are not going to get them. You are going to be chronically ill. All right, so you got to know the bacteria, you got to know what's in the blood, and between those two things and the health conditions, you will find a result that will lead you to a conclusion of this particular symptom is quite likely related to some type of metal excess or deficiency. That's I mean, I'm relating 99% of every problem that there is to metals, and I'm going to show you why I can say that. All right, I mean, I've seen this so many times. Autism, all kinds of different problems are cured by getting your diet under control. What goes in you is you. It's so simple. I can't believe that people don't understand. They just don't understand. 82-year-old woman with dementia gets her memory back after changing her diet. Guess what? They told her, oh, there's nothing you can do. You got dementia. It's too late for you. Well, no. They decided on their own. The mother, I don't know if she had anything to do with it, but her son decided, no, I'm not going to go with this. I'm going to figure it out. He changed her diet. So he had to have help with all sorts of things and all this business. She couldn't do anything. He changed her diet, and then she got better. Now, here you can read the whole thing. So anyway, this story just goes on to show how resilient our bodies are given the right environment. Most of these types of diseases are often related to diet. They're all related to diet. And, you know, there might be a defective gene here and there, but don't go looking for that stuff before you get the person eating food right and find out what's in their blood, what's in their feces. You don't do that, you're not doing your job. All right? If somebody comes to you and says, I'm sick, and you say, well, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this. No. You say, well, what's in your blood? What's in your feces? They don't do that. Just give us a little try this, a little try, a little that. You know, I know I sound bitter, and I am, because it's just happened to me, too. And I know people almost died because of this exact neglect of health, of diet, and bacteria, and the blood metals. You don't check those first, then you just didn't do your job. Now, it's like going to a mechanic and saying the car's overheating, and he said, well, let's put in a new muffler, let's try some new tires. He said, wait, whoa, what about the radiator? So, I don't care about that. Who cares about that? All right, now, it goes on to say, and they're using their diet now in the Alzheimer's Association because it works. And it's blueberries, and it's nuts, and it's hazelnuts, and it's walnuts, and it's these fatty acids, first of all, to make your blood work better. Castor oil is fabulous. And then you need these metals. Anyway, they go on to say, we have covered the topic before of how aluminum buildup in the brain is directly related to dementia, and more specifically Alzheimer's disease. Directly related. Being able to identify this as a cause is important because recognizing this means we can do our part to limit the exposure and to also detoxify our brains and bodies from damaging heavy metal. They have people that can walk again. They have people that the dementia goes away. They have people that autism goes away, the shakes, all kinds of things. And there is different processes to get this metal out. First of all, you try not to get it into you. You know, if you eat healthy, and your bacteria is up there. But if you take that antibiotics and things like that ever in your whole life, you have a hell of a time getting them back to where they should be. It's just a fact. And they should be working on that to correct the bacteria that's in your stomach. Now, there's only a few of them that matter. Well, no, that is not true. There's 1,000 in there. And they are 99% of them are good for you, and they have a job to do. They're not just floating around in there. That's just what they say about metals. Oh yeah, they found some gold knocking around in a cell. That's what they say. All right. So my point is, until the database of the metals and so forth, you're going to have dementia. You're going to have chronic illness. You're going to have skin issues and hair. Your feet are going to have a problem. Your toenails, your eyeballs. It's just because every bit of you is specific. Very, 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 very specific. And I will show you another thing, and I'll leave it at that, to prove the specificity of the tissue in your body. All right, that's a heart. You can see it's all dark looking, brownish. Here's your ventricle walls and all so forth, and the heart strings and this and that. You know, the aorta and you know, all the stuff. The outside tissue, the fascia that's on the very outside, the muscle, and so forth. Now, looks brown. It just looks brown, a little whiter looking. So they really just, it just looks like tissue. But let's see what it really is once it tries to find what makes it, what it wants to be stable with. All right, like I said, the mud fossils prove everything. This is a mud fossil. And they say, oh, that's an opal. Well, yes, it's an opal, but what is an opal of? Opals are always organic, and this happens to be what they call yoa nut from Australia. It comes from the highlands of Australia. These are from terrestrial creatures. The other ones they find, the shells and nautiluses and stuff, are in the very lowlands where the ocean creatures were. These were on dry land, and they turned, well, not dry until it flooded, and then somehow Australia is soaked and drenched in blood. Ayers Rock is a heart. No question whatsoever. This is a heart. You see the tissue? My point being here is this is the variegation of tissues that is so specific to the specific type of tissue that we know these tissues need a certain type of chemistry to do their job. That's just obvious. And if you could tell me that's not obvious, then I have no respect for the way you think. Now, you see all these little tiny colors? Those are transition metals. That's all the colors indicate transition metals. They pass through your blood and holding on to little tiny molecules of different metals and glucose and everything. And they drag them around through your body. They come back to the heart and through the lungs to get oxygen and deliver carbon dioxide and all that kinds of stuff. Get rid of the uric acid. That is their job. And if every one of those isn't there in the right quantities, you're either going to build something up or you're not going to have what you need. And that is the case. That's the case.